Hello, everyone. My name is Victoria Radnothy with Pickleball.com, and I am here with two fabulous guests today, the co-founders of Pickle Club, Sarah Brady and Ashley Corneal. So, first off, Ashley, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit about how you guys came to be where you are today. Are you avid pickleball players? I can only assume you are.
Oh, yes, absolutely. In fact, that's kind of where the idea came from. We picked up the sport probably 3 years ago. It made its way to California, and we started casually playing it and thought, oh my God, this is going to blow up. And sure enough, I think year over year, I mean, it's just grown like crazy. And we couldn't help but tell ourselves, after having sold our previous business, we have to start a new brand. We have to be in the pickleball sphere. And so we kind of kicked off with the idea of apparel. It's what we know, it's what we do best. And I think we just wanted to ride the wave along with everyone else and see kind of what the wild west of pickleball could bring. So, 2 years in, we have, the Pickle Club, and we're super enthusiastic, I think, about the future of not only the sport, but kind of where we have ideas of taking the brand.
I love it. So, Sarah, are you an avid player too?
For sure. When I can get out to a court, absolutely. It's like flip-flopping between any racket or paddle sport. And I get my kids out there, I get my husband out there. Every now and again, we'll get our parents out there. And so just having the community, even within our family, to be able to go out and play a sport is amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, what was it about pickleball that was like such the inspiration for you guys for apparel? Because, I mean, you could pick the more fabulous line being like tennis. So, why pickleball? What was appealing about pickleball to you guys?
We grew up playing tennis, so we love racket sports generally speaking. I think the fact that we went the pickleball route is simply because of the playfulness of the sport, the camaraderie of the sport. Our past brand was a little bit more avant-garde. We dealt in women's hats, so it was a little bit more modern, tailored. I think we wanted the juxtaposition of something fun, youthful, bright, and playful. And I think pickleball just kind of encompasses that energy, where we wanted the aesthetic of the brand to be. And then we kind of wanted to influence it with a little French flair. So a lot of brands do tennis apparel extremely well. We saw the void in the pickle ball market in the apparel there, and thought we could come out with something that had that French chic, effortless style. And so that's kind of where Le Pickle Club originated.
When we all want to look like that, we all want that just so
For sure.
effortlessly stylish energy.
Absolutely, absolutely. And pickleball is so much about not only the sport itself, but just bringing friends out there. And I think there's this interesting appeal of also looking great and playing well. It kind of goes hand in hand. So I know for us, it starts by having a cute outfit on the court, and being able to feel comfortable, chic, and then obviously get out there and play well. So fashion for us is always kind of at the center of getting ready for a match.
I know I always play better when I look better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's that mental state, right? If you know you're gonna go out on the court and you look and feel good, you're gonna play good, you
It's
know?
science.
Yeah,
It
it is
is.
fine.
So I'm so
Absolutely.
curious about your fashion line before this. You said it was avant-garde. Tell me more about that. I'm so curious.
Yeah, so it's a hat brand. It's Kin the Label. It was all made in the USA to start, and then we branched out into kind of overseas product, but it was a handmade product. It took, 40 sets of hands to make this wool or straw hat. So it's a really romantic process. It's in a factory that dates back to like the early, 1900s. And so it was slow, but we were designing a year in advance. We were B2B and B2C. And so We loved it, but it's a different way to like run a business, right? You're holding inventory, you're designing year to 2 years in advance just to get ahead and to have really good sell through. And so this business, we wanted to flip it, we wanted to do something completely different. But that your first business is always your baby. You learn so much, and then you take it into business number two and you know what to do and what not to do. So we're so thankful for that. Absolutely.
That has got to be such a switch up going from these avant-garde hats that were sounded like very labor intensive to now doing, athleisure. How is that process so different when you look at the two, in hindsight?
For sure.
I think, a couple things. The target audience, I mean, the people we're selling to are though they're similar because they're fashion conscious, they like to look good and more or less in that same age range. Most of our apparel speaks to women. The difference is really, I think, just in the process of designing. We're both designers at heart. We both have, degrees in it. It's what we did before we decided to start a couple brands. So the idea of designing 2 years out, trying to identify the trends before they happen when it came to the hat business versus the trends now, with this business, we don't hold overhead. Everything is custom made. We decided to go the sustainable route where we don't stockpile a bunch of inventory, hope to sell it. When we sell it, we actually create it. So, that allows us to actually be really nimble with design too. For instance, the sweatshirt behind Sarah here, that's our Après Le Pickleball. We can change up that graphic within a day's time. And if someone orders it, it could be printed within 3 days. So that alone makes this business a lot more nimble. It allows us to really adjust to what we're seeing in the market, what people are asking for. So it makes our job fun because we're always creating, and that's what we do best.
Since you guys are designers and you must have, maybe a fine art background, is that true?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
accurate.
What did you guys do? Like, what is your degree in?
I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts with a minor in art history, but I went the graphic design. So while I painted my way through college, I have, more digital communication as a career right out of college. So digital, everything from web design to mobile design. And then she did a lot more advertising and digital arts.
Yeah, so I also had a computer graphics degree with a minor in visual design. And then I went into advertising and worked more on the client side of things for ad agencies. It definitely our specialties play well into this business. I focus a lot more on customer relations. We have brand ambassadors. I'm the lead on that, as well as just client services for our wholesale partners. Sarah focuses more on creative development, and is more of the director there when it comes to the creative of the website, the product design, emails, that whole bit.
Oh,
So
so cool. I
yeah,
love
it's kind
that.
of just how our twin relationship works. We understand each other's strengths, we understand each other's weaknesses, and I think that's where we each fill in different facets of the business.
That's amazing. So that's so fun because I went to art school too. I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree, but in writing, but I went to an art college.
Yeah.
And so I love whenever someone's like, oh my gosh, I was a designer. I was like, wait, oh my goodness, tell me
Yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah.
But so you guys are twins, but also they always say like don't go into business with family, there's always
Mhm.
drama. It seems to be you guys do not have that problem at all.
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely true. I think for some people and different personalities, going into business with a family member, a sibling, especially is can be really hard. But I think we know each other so well. We know what we're good at. We know where, we kind of fall behind and someone else can step in. And that's the beauty of it. There's no BS. There's no in-betweens like should I, shouldn't I? and kind of just pick up the pieces when they get dropped. And so it's a happy marriage. Obviously, it's worked before. And so why would we decide to go into business with anyone else? It's kind of, it's nice and easy to kind of chug along and invent and build a business together. So here we are.
I mean, we have been doing it, I think, our whole lives. We were each other's best friend. We never really had to have friends over because we had each other. And I think that's what it comes down to in business is, we don't feel like we have to go at it alone. We always have our counterpart, and we've been doing it for so long. I think, there's this intuitive nature of not only being a twin, but having just kind of lived alongside each other for nearly our whole life, that we get it, right? And it's kind of this unspoken language between us. And I think the flow of business is probably a little easier and things happen faster because we simply just trust in each other's decision and strengths, and just let the other person kind of ride with it, I guess.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's such a blessing, honestly.
Yeah, no, I mean, we do feel fortunate. And so I think at this point, we're just taking advantage of it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. As you should.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, this is probably a question more for you since you're kind of the creative mind behind a lot of the designs. You guys have such a gorgeous Instagram feed. It just is so aesthetically pleasing. Tell me, what is the
Oh, thank
value
you.
of like branding? You guys have such a clear brand story when it comes to like this French aesthetic. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I think today, and Ashley helps in creative ideas too. I don't want to undermine her participation in the creative process, but brand is everything. I think, with all the noise in the marketplace and everyone starting a new brand, you really have to stand out. We have this motto kind of when everyone zigs, you zag. So take a different approach. And I think with our Instagram feed, because it is essentially the handshake to new customers or, new followers, we have to have our point of view very apparent, right? So I think within Instagram specifically, we've woven the French aesthetic, the that kind of je ne sais quoi attitude throughout the feed, but also staying true to who we are. We're a California brand. We're pickleball first. But we also like to have fun. This is a fun sport. This is a social sport. And, recently we've kind of put our face out there because at the end of the day, people want to know who's building the brand. They want the brand story. They want to feel some emotional connection with the brand. And that's what we're after. We're after community, some spark of emotion through our feed or through our products or starting a conversation with, say, Apres. Go play pickleball, but also go have a coffee or a cocktail with your friends after. Make it a social thing beyond the court. And I think that's really what we're after is brand first, product second. Yeah.
Love it. And
Yeah.
how would you describe your brand's aesthetic? Is it, it's obviously very California cool. There's that French influence. Give me the short version of that.
It is it is the casual cool of pickleball. It's the I'm kind of going to speak or show you my attitude on my shirt with my clothing. We want to bring a sense of sophistication, but also a little like I'm not trying too hard. It's very much the French girl who is very put together. It might be minimal, but also comes with that sophistication. I feel good about myself. And that's what we want to evoke on the court too. You want to step onto that court and have that sense of sophistication. And I thought about my outfit, but also be very confident in kind of the game you're gonna play.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. I
Oh,
love
that
that.
did I nail it? It did.
Yes.
Did I get close?
That effortless, like sophistication, or that, and then that it translates to that just like effortless confidence, right?
Yeah.
Because if you feel good, then you're going to be confident in whatever you do. And I think, yeah, it's just the effortlessness of the designs, not too overworked, just enough, with the little French je ne sais quoi.
And
There you
so
go.
why France? What is the tie there? Are you guys from, like, what's the story behind France?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually married to a Frenchman. He was born here, however, his family still resides in France. So we've spent every summer in the south of France visiting family. We kind of just use it as like our European jumping off point. So it's very integral into our everyday. There's French being spoken in the household. His father's a French chef. So it only made sense that somehow the allure of the French culture play into this. I mean, who doesn't want to speak the most beautiful language in the world and look as effortless as the chic Parisians do? And so, I think because it's so integral in our life, Sarah comes out and spends summers with us out there, that it made sense to kind of weave our story into the brand, and try and capture, that French allure, with everyone else here in California. And again, I think it's just setting ourselves apart, right? We figured no one else was doing it in pickleball, so there's no reason why we shouldn't.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, on that note, Ashley, do you want to show some of your favorite pieces? I see you have some behind you.
I do. Thanks for asking. So some of our classics, Sarah has the back of the Apparel Pickleball, but part of that set is just some of our classic coin terms. So Vive Le Pickleball is one we have here. J'adore Le Pickleball as well. Um, let's see. I have a couple. I have a wider range of hats. So we have the Après Le Pickleball. This is like a foam snapback trucker. This is a snapback as well, but two-tone from just Le Pickle Club. This was fun. We did a city series. So this is Los Angeles, Le Pickle Club. We also did the Paris. It's a little harder to see. We have New York and then San Francisco as well on the website. So picking four of our favorite cities. And then we have, of course, our Wii hat. This super nice hat. This is a great court hat because it's lightweight. It's a snapback as well, super breathable. And then the other three items I brought to show are from our latest collection, Le Fleur, meaning the flower. We came out with bucket hats. I play with this on the court. Super fun. Again, it's maybe not the longest hat for keeping the sun off your face, but it does it. It's fun. It's chic. It's going to be a little out of the ordinary. And then we like to do a lot of crop tops. We think it's cute to show the top of your court skirt or your shorts. So this here is one of our J'adore with our flower motif. We took a lot of nods from Paris and kind of that vintage feel with the flower. Again, this is in our cream, and a crop top style as well.
Love it. You're so pretty.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah, so that was fun. So we have a Le Fleur collection, which we just dropped in kind of fun pastels, lighter. It's a little different than just a kind of our originals collection, which is more of the French style classic colorways. This one is a little softer, more springtime, summer vibes.
So, what are your goals for this brand? I mean, do you want to see the pros wearing it? We have a Frenchman on tour, Jay de Villiers. He's the Flying Frenchman, we call him. Like, is that the goal? You want to take this to every rec court in the country? What are the ambitions here?
Yeah, I think we have quite a few ambitions. To start, we just want everybody to know who we are, who is in the game of and loves to play pickleball. But I think like long-term goals is, yeah, we'd love to partner with some key athletes. We love to offer a little bit more assortment, perhaps dive into more performance gear, so we can appeal to the athletes and being on court, alongside other brands. And I think addition, just grow the community, grow the brand, partner with like-minded brands to do fun collaborations, kind of keep things fresh. The sky's the limit. I think we have so much on our plate as we build the brand, but yeah, we'd love some really, really cool partners to kind of take it into new channels and new avenues.
We're working with a lot of kind of pickleball facilities or clubs or private clubs. A lot of them are opening pro shops. So making sure that we open up the opportunity for them to bring the Pickle Club gear into those pro shops. I think that's a great way of just kind of starting those relationships with players and those actually competing, even just, the casual novice who maybe are traveling and pop in to a court as well. So I think the coolest thing about, pickleball is a paddle can fit in a backpack, and you could almost play anywhere, with the invention of the portable courts or the nets. You really need a ball and two paddles, or a backboard and one paddle. So yeah, it's a sport that I think is just going to take off, especially internationally. And we're here to kind of, like I said earlier, ride the wave and bring the Pickle Club to a court near you.
Well, and additionally, since you have done so much international travel, what is the pickleball scene like over there, overseas?
Yeah, especially when you think of France, right? You just think tennis. I think you think clay courts and maybe even, paddle or padel, however you want to say it. Those are still very much sport one and two. But it's not to say that pickleball isn't coming on the scene, and it's just a delayed pattern. I think it's only a matter of time before it really kind of starts to grow and take over.
Yeah, I think once it hits the Olympics is when it'll start to go really international, or it'll hit, schools and it'll become a new sport for high schoolers or elementary. Then I feel like it's really gonna start going international.
Oh, no doubt about it. I think the sky's the limit, honestly, but we're all a little biased here, so.
Yes, we are. It's true.
Absolutely.
Right. We can be dreamers too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, but it's not for nothing though. We
No,
have
no.
science backed up.
I totally
Sure.
agree.
All right, and finally, please share with me where people can buy Le Pickle Club. Where can they get some of the merch and rep it on the court?
Yeah, we are on lightpickleclub.com. You can find all our entire assortment online. And then soon to be maybe some wholesalers, but currently we're just online, and you can find us also on social at Lay Pickle Club on Instagram.
Awesome. Well, thank you so, so much, ladies, for taking the time and chatting with me today. I appreciate it so, so much. And I wish you all the success both in your brand and on the pickleball court.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks,
for having us.
Victoria. Thanks for having us.
If you want to have that cool French girl aesthetic, shop lepickleclub.com. To keep up to date with all things pickleball fashion, scan the 2 QR codes on your screen to go straight to our website and give us a follow on Instagram. If you want to watch the pros serve up style live and in person, find a PPA tour stop near you. And check out the latest pickleball fashion interview with pro pickleball wag and founder of Apparel, Jen Rogers. Now, go dress up and play pickleball. Au revoir!